guys, welcome to another 8-bit face-off kerfuffle. Now I'm going to do these slightly differently where possible. What I'm going to do is try and kind of read the manual. I'm not going to go into in-depth details about it, but just have a quick wee look at the manual because I think it's going to make it a wee bit more interesting when I do these things. So anyway, yeah, this is BC2, Grog's Revenge. Now this was released in 1984 by Sierra Online, and it was the successor or the sequel to BC's Quest for Tires. Now, if you've never ever played that game or don't know what it is, go and check out my, no, I didn't do a review as such, but I did do an 8-bit face-off kerfuffle about it. It's a wonderful game, and this is basically the sequel. So yeah, here we go, BC2, Grog's Revenge. Now this is our seminal hero down here, this little dude down here. And I'm assuming that's your girlfriend. Little blank page there. There we go. Object of the game: Thor, the first man, is back in an all-new adventure. Experience the danger as you explore rocky mountain paths connected by dark, treacherous caves. Each mountain is covered with clams. Gather 100 clams to pay the tollkeeper and advance to the next mountain. Once you're able to stay on the narrow mountain paths and dodge stalagmites in the caves, explore the mountain. Pick up clams by running over them, but watch out for the wheel-munching pterodactyls. You can't outmaneuver them if you learn where they hide out. On the overview of the mountain, you can see where Thor is marked by the square. If Grog is on Thor's side of the mountain, you'll see him also represented by the diamond. Keep track of Grog. He too winds around the mountain, scooping up clams, protecting them from Thor. When you hear his beep beep, look out, he's turning the corner. If Grog gets on the same path as Thor, he'll forget about saving clams and hunt Thor instead. And woe to Thor if he ever catches up. So yeah, that's pretty much what you need to do. You collect clams even, and try and outwit Thor. So yeah, really nice to see these instructions again actually. So anyway, let's crack on with the first one. Right, first version we're going to take a look at is the ColecoVision. Now it also came out on the Coleco Adam, which I believe was a sort of computer version of the ColecoVision. So there we go, that's Thor riding about. Oops a daisy, I've just gone straight into the little maze thing. Not the maze, into the cave thing. That's Thor riding his little unicycle, whatever it's called. And I've just crashed. So you can see the little beam of light, obviously the cage, not the cage, the cave is pitch dark. And you've got to try and pick up the clams as best as you can, whilst avoiding, there's little insects, and there's also sort of rocks and branches and that kind of stuff. So, bollocks. Right, there's Grog, and it's game over. Right, I didn't expect that. Right, I've just noticed down the bottom, you'll see at the bottom left, there's a little depiction of myself and one of Grog. Now, I assume that's the number of clams that he's picked up. Right, let's go back in again. How do we start it? One player. Right, okay. Yeah, so I've got... In fact, you can see there, Grog is already up to 18. Bloody hell, he doesn't hang about. I've got 5. Now, it's very, very twitchy. I'm playing this using an Xbox 360 controller, which I would not recommend because you really want... It is quite kind of fine music. Fine music? What the hell am I talking about? Fine movement. I'm an absolute twat. I'm not even thinking. My tongue just goes off on its own tangent and does its own thing. Sorry, yeah, it's very, very fine kind of movement. So you have to... you don't really want a little analog stick. You ideally want a proper joystick if you can. So you can see there, Thor's up to 61 clams already. And I'm doing absolutely pants. Now, one of the wonderful things about this game is the animation. Well, I mean, it's not one of the wonderful things. It's probably the best thing about the game. It's fun to play. It is pretty basic. You know, it's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of depth in the game. But the cartoon graphics, I think, are excellent. They really are. I think he's actually based on a real cartoon strip. Don't know what paper it is. If anybody knows what paper he appears on, please put your comments down below and let me know. But I'm sure I have seen him. So yeah, you've got to be kind of very careful. Now holding fire button down accelerates you. Right, that was a beep beep I think, which means Grog's going to appear. Ah, balls, I've just fallen off the cliff. Yeah, you can basically smack headfirst into a wall and it's game over. Anyway, that is really, really good. I like that one. That is the Coleco one. Right, second one is the C64. Now this was the one that I used to play back in the day. Graphics, slightly different. I would probably say the C64 colour palette of greys and browns, which we all know it can only do, actually does this really well. It looks like a proper kind of rock face with its greys. Scrolling is super smooth though, to be fair. The Coleco one was probably, you know, just as smooth. Nice sound effects. Yeah, you know what, the little death scenes are just absolutely fantastic. So, well, I'm actually doing, you'll see there, Grog has only managed to get 22 clams. He's not doing particularly well at the moment. I'm up to 34. So it seems to me that the difficulty spike, excuse me, I've got hiccups, the difficulty spike in the ColecoVision is a lot harder than the C64 one. Almost looks like Grog isn't even, not Grog, it looks like Thor. Sorry, yeah, it is Grog. Grog's the bad one. It almost looks like he's not even doing anything. He's only on 22 and he's not collecting anything else, which is a bit, oh, he's got another 2 there. So really, once you've kind of mopped up, what you can do is you can go to the edge or to the end of the cave or the end of the hill and then kind of go around. So you see there, you see the little red pterodactyls, whatever the hell they're called. You've got to try and avoid them. Now it says there total 100, and I think I had 63. So what you need to do is you need to get at least 100, and then you can go back. You'll see down the bottom there is a little map that kind of shows you where you are. Now you can't, balls, you cannot jump. You can't jump at all. The original BC Quest, you could jump, but you can't in this one. But I love this game. I love this and the original. I mean, the original one, I always thought it was challenging back in the day, but since I've played it, you know, more sort of recently, it's actually quite an easy game to play, but it's really good fun. Really nice to play. So let's just kind of weave in and out there a couple of times. There we go. Right, I've got enough. So, alright, I think I need to go up here. And then I think I need to go along here and then back into the cave, and I think that takes me back to where I want to go. So just try and not die. You see the little tree stumps, so you need to avoid them as well. Right, okay, I've got 100 things, so it's now going to take 100 off me, and presumably it's going to let me go into level 2. I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between, you know, different mountains. A mountain is a mountain at the end of the day. So again, you can see there, yeah, this is definitely easier than the Coleco one. It's the little touches in this game, like, you know, the sort of his hair getting ruffled in the wind. No, I'm actually trying to see, does his hair move when you're moving really slow or stopping? I'm not quite sure actually. Didn't really notice that. Let's have a look. Okay, how am I doing? 56. And Grog, he's on 38. Again, you need to be careful when you're... bollocks! It is so twitchy that, you know, you need to be careful. Is that my last life? I think it is. You need to avoid the little potholes, and obviously avoid the walls like I'm not doing. And you also need to avoid, oops, that was close, you also need to avoid falling off the end of the cliff like that. Fantastic stuff. Yep, that is the oh, I thought that was it. I've still got one life to go. Ah, balls. That was not deliberate, honest. Right, anyway, that's the C64 one. On to the very last version. Now, I've got to say, I'm not going to apologise, but I was quite surprised when I found out there was only 3 versions of this. Well, there is technically a 4th version, which, as I mentioned, was on the ColecoVision Atom, which was a computer version. So this last one, you can see at the bottom there, is the MSX. Now, I'm guessing that the difficulty is the same as ColecoVision, because you can see at the bottom there, Grog has already, Grog has already got 39 clams. On the C64 one, he hardly had any. Again, the graphics are fantastic. It probably, yeah, I would say the C64 graphics look more realistic as far as realism can go in a game like this. You know, just with the colours. Whereas the ColecoVision, I mean, this almost kind of looks identical. I'd need to really see the ColecoVision and the MSX one side by side, but it does look they do look very similar. I don't know if they've got the same, if anybody knows, do they have the same chipset, possibly? I'm not quite sure. But a really, really good fun game. So, just to kind of summarise, let me see, the ColecoVision and MSX almost look identical. They both play brilliantly, they look lovely, and they play really, really well. The C64 looks awesome as well, and it plays really nice. I'm probably going to go for the C64 one, just because it does look a bit more realistic with the kind of brown granite rock. But you know what? Any version is fun to play. So that is Grog's Revenge. As always, guys, thank you very, very much for watching.